Hello, and today we're going to be starting yet another series on XHTML, or another series regarding XHTML. So I'm going to do some XHTML tutorials. XHTML is the language that most of the web's written in, or at least it should be. You may have heard of HTML before, but that's the older version, and it came out in the 90s. And even XHTML came out in 1999, and it's a much better, much more valid version. So everybody should be using that now. So in these tutorials, I'm going to teach you how to write in XHTML, what it is, and exactly how you can use it. I'm gonna kind of have some videos that kind of take you from naught to intermediate in web development skills. So let's get started. I've just got a web page open here, and it's just Google. And if we do something called viewing the source, which in my browser here you can go to do by going to view and view source, we see all this code that is given to us by the Google web page. Now, all that code is known as HTML tags. And let me go to my website so to give you a better example. But all the web is made up of HTML tags. And then if we go to view source again, what we see is all these caret things, and then all the closing caret things, and then that's called the closing tag. All HTML is made up of these things called tags, and this is what we're going to be learning how to build. So we're just going to get started. I've got a folder here open up in my text editor, but you could use Notepad. It doesn't really matter what you use. And what we're going to do is we're going to be building a basic web page that we're going to view in our browser and view as a web page. So what we're first going to do is make a new file with a certain name, index.html, and what that means is our home page. That's a pretty popular term that's thrown around in the web, and what we're going to do is we're going to save it. If we were to view that in our browser right now, there's nothing there. So what we're going to do is we're going to write some HTML code to make sure there's something there. In any HTML whatsoever, the first thing you start with is an opening caret symbol. And what this tells the HTML is that you're going to start a tag. And after this caret symbol, you put something. You describe something about the content that you're gonna write. So if you were gonna write a paragraph, you put P, or if you're gonna write a title, you put H1, because it's the first heading on the site. There's predetermined tags or ways of describing the content in HTML that you put after this opening caret. So what we're going to do is P for paragraph. And then what we're going to do is we're going to close that caret. And then you notice that my text editor did some fancy stuff, and note that you could do this with Notepad. and it added a closing PHP tag, meaning that it's the end of that content that's described in a certain way, and in our next tag we're now going to describe something else a certain way. But look at how it's defined to be the end. It's the same tag but with a slash in it. So that's how you open and close tags. The open caret, the name of the tag, the closing caret, and then when it's the end you have the opening caret, the slash, the tag name, and the closing caret. In between these tags is where we write our content. So in this case, P stands for paragraph. So every time we want a new paragraph, we do a new P tag. So say I wanted to put some content in, we'd just type it, normal content, in between those P tags. We wanted to say I wanted to say hello, for instance. If we now drag that into our browser, notice it says hello, and it's not big, it's formatted to look like a paragraph because of the way it automatically styled it, because we wrapped it in those P tags. So what you've now done is created a website, basically, but this is not a very good website, so let's add some more stuff to it by adding some more tags. If we wanted to put the name of our site, a big bold name of our site, that would only be put in a H1 tag because it's the first heading on the page. So opening caret H1 and then closing caret, and then you close the tag. So we could say awesome site. If we then view that in our browser, we notice that it's displaying bigger and bolder because it assumes that that's the way we want it to be displayed, because that's the way my browser is interpreting the fact that I've done the H1 tag. Now, different browsers interpret things differently, but H1s are normally used for the name of your website. So that is why you'd use that there. Let's look at some more tags. We had a let's say we had a paragraph element. So I wanted to make the sum bold. Now, we wouldn't want to put that in a paragraph element because that is not bold. The paragraph element will just show the same as hello. What we want to wrap that in is a strong tag because it's telling the browser that it's strong, which is an important piece of information. So we need to do the opening strong tag, the closing strong, and then the text, and then the closing strong tag. we then preview that in our browser, we notice that some text is bold, it's strong, it's whatever you'd like to call it. So what we've done is created a website using some tags. Now this is a very interesting website right now. Most websites that you know of link to other website, but there's no link in this website. So let's create another page. About HTML, and let's put some in a paragraph element. Let's put some stuff about me. My name is Tom, there we go, and that's in a paragraph element, and it's in the new about.html page that we've saved in that folder. So if we refresh the page in our browser, we notice that nothing's changed. But if we tell our browser to go to the about.html page, and we type in about.html, then we see the new paragraph element. But that's not very helpful because the user can't get to different parts of our site. Otherwise they know and they have to type in different file names. So what we need to do is make a link to another file. What we do is this is getting a bit more complicated. What we do is we have our opening tag, and for this we need an A tag, which stands for an anchor. So that's the name of the tag that we're going to use. And after that we don't do our closing tag, we do something called, we just do a space and we do something called an attribute. This is telling the tag something else that it wants to pass to our browser. So in an attribute we need to tell the HTML where to point to, and in our attribute name for where we want it to go to, where something is in HTML, is the href attribute. So after the A we simply type a space, we type href, and again we've just got one opening tag. We haven't even finished our first tag because this is an attribute. And then we place our equals sign, i.e. setting it equal to something. And then we do quotations, an opening quotation and a closing quotation, just like you do in English. And then we put the name of the file which we want this link to link to. In our case, because this is in the same folder, we can just put the file name about.html. So this link is going to link to about.html, and then we close the link and close the initial tag, and then write the closing tag. The /a tag. Now, what goes in between these two tags? Because we've told it where I want it to go with this href attribute, which is part of the initial part of the tag. So I told it where I want it to go, about.html, but we haven't told it what we want the link to say to the users. So just like you would do in your any of your text up here, that needs to go in the place in between here. So let's just say find more, and then if we save that, and then if we go back to our index page, and refresh, we see that there's a link called find more, and I spelled it wrong a bit, but if we click that, we notice that it goes to the other page, about.html, because that's what we set the href attribute to. And if we go back and refresh, then it goes back. Now let's put a link on the about.html page, so that when people finish reading it, they can go back. So what do? We have our opening caret, we write the letter A, we have a space, and then our attribute, which in this case is our href attribute, we put equals, quotation marks, the file name wanted to go to, and in this case wanted to go back to the home page. And you notice I said the first page that we needed to create needed to be called index.html. So what we're going to link that to go back to the home page is simply index.html. And then we're going to close off our first tag and write the closing tag. And in between those two tags, we're going to put our text. So in my case, I'm going to say go back. So as I was saying, if we save our page and then refresh, we have our link spelt incorrectly. It says go back, and if we click that, it goes back to the first page we created with all those tags on it. And if we click the other link that we set, the find more link, then it goes to the about page. And if we click the go back link, so we've got a website that people can navigate through. So that's the end of the first XHTML tutorial. In the next tutorial, we're going to learn how to add an image. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe. Thank you.